That's what LeBron told ESPN about his son, Bronny. I don't know if people really understand Bronny. He doesn't care. I actually care a little bit. When I came in as a rookie, I wanted people to like me, and some of the things that people were saying about me kind of bothered me early on in my career. He doesn't give a F. He does not care about nobody. He doesn't even listen to that stuff. He's like the coolest. He's like the complete opposite of his dad. His dad will say something to address the critics. Bro does not care. Everything that's being said about him, he really does not care. So, Keyshawn, your reaction to what LeBron said about his son?
I think that's true, because he's heard it his entire life about something, Skip, because that's his son. And if you ask me, and I bet he really doesn't care, but he cares, if you know what I mean. He doesn't care. He's not going to respond to it. He sees it. He certainly sees it. He hears it. He knows. I mean, he's not oblivious to anything that's going on around him. But a lot of the attacks and criticism of Bronny is more about his father. That's really what it's about. It's really about his daddy. And you say, well, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that, Skip, is they rather go attack the kid to affect the father's feelings, because they can't affect the father, because the father's one of the greatest 2 or 3 players to ever face the world of sports. Like, it just doesn't... You going at LeBron is a waste of time. But if I could criticize his son and make comments about his play and who he is and all those sort of things, then it's going to affect his mother. It's going to affect his daddy. It's going to get his attention. And that's what happens in these situations. Look, is his son on the Lakers because of his father? Probably so. And is that okay? You damn right it's okay. You damn right it's okay. Because in all walks of life, and we have these conversations all the time, I don't care if it's in the film industry, the television industry we're in, or whatever industry. It could be the insurance business. If my father is at the top of the game, you best believe I'm going to be right there next to him, period. It doesn't... LeBron James and Savannah, they owe no apologies to anyone, nor does the son. Because we see it all the time. People get opportunities because of who they know, period. And that's where the criticism is coming from. He shouldn't have been the 55th pick. He shouldn't have done this. He barely played in college. All of those sort of things, but no one is taking into account he missed significant time with a scare, a life-threatening scare that he had to now figure out when he steps back on that court. Should I go full speed? Should I slow down? His parents are sitting there saying, should he still play? Because he don't need anything. He's not clearly playing for the damn money.
No.
That $2.6 million that LeBron saved, you can get that ain't going nowhere but over there to Bronny anyway. That's all that is. So it's all the same money. So it's not about the money. He's playing because he likes playing basketball, and that's what he wants to do. And he wants to blaze his own trail. So I get everything that LeBron is saying. He grew up different. LeBron did it like I did it to get my mother and everybody situated in their life. Bronny doesn't have to do it. He can just not play and be fine and successful, but he wants to play basketball. And whether or not he becomes a future all-star or whatever the case is, so be it. He gets a chance to live his dream by playing in the NBA. They get a chance as a family to live a dream by them both wearing the same jerseys, being able to take a picture in Staples Center together, side by side. When he's on the court, he might say, hey, Dad, swing it to me. I mean, that's a dream. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with it.
Look, I thought, first of all, I couldn't agree with you more. I think this is nothing but a cool story. And we've seen number 55 picks do nothing in the NBA over and over and over again. Last year's number 55 pick.
Yeah, we see
in
first
the G
picks in the
League
NBA do nothing.
So all of that noise, as you say, is very LeBron related. It's people who just don't like the family, who just don't like LeBron. I actually thought the quote and what he said to Dave McMenamin was really insightful, because he absolutely cared too much at the beginning. He acknowledges it right there. It's part of what made him such a good teammate. He wanted people to like him. However, there is no question that that outside noise affected him. And you saw him take steps to alleviate that. He went and did his whole 0 dark 30 thing where he didn't, turned off all media and read books during the playoffs for a couple years there until he learned to balance it all more. I think that Bronny has already learned all of that because, as you say, he's been dealing with it since he was a kid. There was all kinds of stories about him over and over and over again. I will say this, even though Bronny's temperament is very different from LeBron's, everyone cares at some point. Kyrie Irving told us during the NBA Finals that he didn't care how the fans in Boston treated him. And this is a guy who has been in a number of tough environments, who hit one of the best shots ever in Game 7 of an NBA Finals, who has the teeth and the nails to be in a tough environment, and he didn't handle it well. This kid is 19 years old. There will be a point when that attention, no matter how much he cares or not, affects him. To me, what is most important isn't whether it affects him, because that is called being a human being. What is most important to me is how he reacts to it affecting him. And I do think, as LeBron points out, he's set up to react well to any setback like that because he just doesn't care about being liked as much as LeBron says his dad did.
Correct. So I have sat in this seat for the last 3-4 years and said that from a distance, I don't know Bronny, but from just observing him as closely as I can from a distance, his father and mother raised this kid right. He's prepared for the onslaught, whatever it might be, because he's been in the eye of this storm for a long, long time because they did not shelter him. If he had been completely sheltered and kept completely away from the media glare, not on social media, had to sort of homeschool, he couldn't get out at all.
That would be good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. But right now, it would be like a brave new world. And he'd be saying, my God, what is happening around me? Now it's just business as usual because it's been this way since he played. I don't know, what was his first year at Sierra Canyon? Did he play when he was a sophomore? I guess he played some when he was
his freshman year was his freshman year.
Yeah.
Is when LeBron got to LA, I believe.
Yeah.
He started at Crossroads, though. Bronny started at Crossroads.
Did he start at Crossroads?
Yes. This is the most inside LA school conversation ever, but yes.
Santa Monica?
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So the point is, I love this kid's backbone. I just love his demeanor. I love his body language. I believe, as LeBron said, he just doesn't give a you-know-what in a good way. He cares about his basketball, and he is a hard worker, and he cares that he couldn't get a shot to go down the way he wanted to go down. I'm sure he took that a little bit hard that night, but that wasn't because of media trolls or social media trolls. It's just part of playing basketball, and he's built right for this. And again, it's some that he just has it in him, but I think his mother and father were really, it's just rare that you say you raised that kid right, because it's hard, as you both know, it's just hard to raise a kid right. It's just hard. And sometimes they spin out of your control where you do everything right and it still doesn't matter. And I like that he's ready for this. And even though he said, I was nervous, and he said, you're always going to have some butterflies. And now we're back to, he is a human being. Yeah. And he's still just a kid, but he handled that first game the right way. And whatever happens, the first time he gets introduced at crypto, it's going to be bonkers, and it's going to be on national TV, and you think he's going to throw up powder. I don't think he's going to throw up powder before the game. I hope not. You don't need to do that.
I do not see that happening.
But
wishful thinking.
But whatever it'll be, he'll have some butterflies, and then he'll take his first shot, and maybe it'll go in, and maybe it won't, and then he'll be just fine. And whatever happens this year, I think, I've said this from day one, I think he will handle that part of it better than his dad handles it. I think his dad will be way more nervous for him than he will be nervous in this harshest of spotlights that's about to occur. Because I do think he's going to get to play some for the Lakers. I just do. And to your points, Keyshawn, LeBron has earned the right for this all to happen. I'm good with it.
I'm good with it. And they could have took him at 17. I was fine.
You were fine. Well, you said.
I didn't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all, Skip, because he's in a position. He built the foundation for his family to succeed and his sons to come behind him and succeed. Again, we see it every day. It's nothing new. Just because it's LeBron James and his son happens to be on the Lakers team, okay, well, big deal. That's just a big deal because he can actually play basketball.
Right.
If he couldn't get up and down the court and he was just a piñata, so to speak, then we would be like, okay, I'll be the first to tell you. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
No.
This is a situation where it's going to take some time for him to develop. Mm-hmm. But all the attacks or whatever's going on in the social media world, it's really about his father, man. Okay. If his father was coaching the AAU basketball team that he had played on or whatever, or his high school team, they wasn't trying to beat the high school in Bronny. They trying to beat damn LeBron James.
Sure.
And that's the way people react on social media. It's all about the daddy.
Okay.
And look, you make such a good point, and you have said it over and over again. The way they have raised him has really, you can see it. And I can armchair psychology for a minute. When someone is raised in a very loving home, they feel less of a need to get that love from out in the world. They have more self-confidence. It comes from inside more. And LeBron has been a very present and great dad. That has been obvious from the beginning. And when you know that you're loved by your dad in that way, no matter what, you care less about some of the other people who think that. Same for your mom, same for your family. That, again, basic psychology 101. I thought, actually, the most important thing that LeBron said takeaway out of that interview is he talked about, hey, the team did what it was going to do. It take two to tango. You know, he kind of let the Lakers off the hook there.
He did.
And in some ways, it was what he was supposed to say, but we have seen LeBron not say what he is supposed to say about the front office before. So I thought the
it's
fact
early,
that...
but
yes,
right.
yes.
Early.
No, I mean, I'd like to see that quote when we get toward the trade deadline, and if it still holds up.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most interesting thing that he said. He also said about Bronny, and I agree with him here too, it takes remarkable drive and commitment to be the rich son of a pro athlete and still work hard enough to make it to the NBA. And Bronny is not the only guy to ever do this. Obviously, we have examples littered all over the league of guys who have the son of someone and have been able to make an NBA career, but that doesn't make it less of a skill. It doesn't make it less of a skill or less impressive. And yes, this is on a whole other level. I agree.
This is different. This is different because it's LeBron James. And no matter what, he's always going to be LeBron's son. So the critics are never going to go away. If he has a great game, they'll be this much. If he has a bad game, it'll be this much. Sure. Because that's just the nature in which we live in. And I think he'll be fine, not just because how he was raised, but his whole approach. The fact that he decided to play basketball after having heart surgery, imagine that.
Or play basketball to begin with.
In general. Because if it was me from day one, oh, no, I'm good. My daddy a billionaire. I ain't got to worry about it. I'm good. That would be my mentality if I just got scared on the basketball court and I was laid out. No way. But it took that encouragement to come back and play. I mean, that is in itself tells you what type of kid he is.
So, because he did grow up ultra rich, he would have high potential as the firstborn to be a spoiled brat. And I know a lot of rich people